After his back-to-back victories over Tyson Fury, there is no doubt that Oleksandr Usyk is the greatest of this generation, stringing together an unbelievable amount of impressive performances over his short career. But which one out of those is the best? Today we are going to rank the top 7 greatest performances from Oleksandr Usyk, not only taking into account how impressive he looked in the ring that night, but also the level of opposition he had facing him on the opposite corner. So let's not waste any more time, guys. Let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 7, we have the first Tyson Fury fight. Possibly Usyk's most historically significant bout, and probably one of his toughest tests too. Tyson Fury enjoyed a purple patch in the middle rounds where he thoroughly outboxed Usyk from rounds 3 to 6. Nevertheless, the Ukrainian showed incredible heart and unbelievable boxing IQ to make the necessary adjustments, turn the tide on Tyson Fury, and come dangerously close to stopping him in the 9th round. It was clear in his late 30s that Oleksandr Usyk's athletic peak is well behind him, but he showed that class was permanent and able to use his boxing brain to overcome the bigger, younger man. I do think he has a number of more impressive performances than this, but when you take the occasion into account and the opponent into account, you have to put this in the top 7. Now, before I get into number 6, let's address the elephant in the room. It was a low blow, it was illegal, Dubois appealed, he lost the appeal, and Usyk got back up and continued dominating the fight even more convincingly than before the low blow. So, no, it wasn't a knockdown. Usyk didn't lose. Stop coping, stop lying to yourself.
But how many times do I have to tell you this? Every time is the same question.
Now let's get into it. This was a masterful performance from Oleksandr Usyk. He bossed the fight from round 1 to round 9 when he stopped Dubois. Made him quit. Every single minute of that fight was won by Usyk. Other than that controversial low blow, which as soon as the fight resumed, Usyk came close to stopping Dubois in that very same round. It was a clinical, beautiful performance from Usyk. The only caveat I will give it, this was Dubois' first title fight. So I don't think he had the necessary experience to pose that much of a threat to Usyk, but nevertheless, you have to put this in number 7. It was a masterful performance. So coming in at number 5, we have the cruiserweight unification bout between Brilliance. In my opinion, it is Usyk's toughest fight of his career, as Brilliance pushed him the whole 12 rounds, the only man to be able to keep pace with Usyk for the championship distance. Brilliance enjoyed numerous successes during this fight, both offensively and defensively. But that just shows the greatness of Oleksandr Usyk, as he was able to up the levels to superhuman levels when needed to secure the win. It was by no means Usyk's most dominant fight, but when you take into account the performance of the man in the opposite corner and being able to secure the win in Brilliance's hometown of Latvia, no matter which way you slice it, this has to be in the top 5, guys. Now at number 4, we have Oleksandr Usyk's first ever world title fight against Krzysztof Glazkov. Now, Glazkov was a crafty, high-pressure southpaw-style champion with great pedigree. Usyk coming in only his 10th professional fight, and as you would expect, as his first time going the 12-round distance and fighting at world championship level. At the beginning, there were holes in his defense where Glazkov was able to catch him on a number of occasions. But Usyk showed the pedigree we were coming to expect from him in his later career, as he upped the levels when needed. Coming into the halfway point, it was relatively close. In my opinion, Usyk won every single round of the second half of that fight. His punch selection, footwork, shot accuracy was just a marvel to behold, and it laid the foundations for a legendary championship reign that would follow. Now, kicking off our top 3, we have the first Anthony Joshua fight. In my opinion, this is where Usyk reached the peak of his heavyweight powers. He delivered a perfect performance from round 1 to round 12. He was an elusive target using masterful footwork, stopping AJ from being able to truly set himself and coming very close to stopping AJ right at the end of the fight. The only reason, in my opinion, this isn't number 1 is because AJ pretty much let Usyk do what he wanted to do all night. He was just a deer in the headlights and posed very little opposition. But when you just watch this performance back, you see the levels of Usyk being able to defeat a much bigger man with pure boxing skill alone. It has to be in the top 3, guys. Now, at number 2, narrowly missing out on our top spot, we have Usyk's destruction of the German Marco Huck. Now, this was only Usyk's 4th world title fight, where Huck was a veteran of 21 title fights. Nevertheless, it was Usyk who made Huck look to be the amateur, as he dominated this fight from round 1 to round 10 when he got the stoppage from simply overwhelming Huck with his combinations and punch variety. A truly masterful statement performance from Oleksandr Usyk, proving no matter the pedigree that was put in front of him, he can raise his game when needed to come out with the win every single time. Now, as we know, Oleksandr Usyk is a modern-day great, so every time he has stepped into that ring, it has been a masterful performance. But for one reason or another, I could not justify putting these fights ahead of the ones on the list. So very quickly, the honorable mentions are the rematches against Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and his cruiserweight bouts against Hunter and Michunu. Like I said, amazing performances, but narrowly missed out. So without further ado, guys, let's get into our top spot. Now, in our number 1 spot, guys, we have Usyk's perfect performance against Garcia in the World Boxing Super Series final. This was against the number 2 guy in the division, but if you watch the fight, you wouldn't think so, as Usyk put on a flawless performance for 12 rounds straight. His elusive footwork, his varied combinations and accuracy with those combinations simply overwhelmed Garcia, as he was not able to have any success during that fight, and not through lack of trying either. In my opinion, Usyk won every single round of that fight to secure his place as the undisputed cruiserweight champion and the greatest cruiserweight of all time as well. This is a performance for the ages that will be studied for generations to come, and if you haven't watched the fight, I urge you to go and watch it as soon as possible. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 7 performances from Oleksandr Usyk. Now, if you disagree with me and your favorite Usyk fight did not make the list, let me know in the comments below what you guys think the list should be. And if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the share button to help the channel out, help it grow and get these videos out to as many people as possible. And I will be back with another video very soon, guys. But until then,